Ahmad Soekarno. Yeah. You're too young to know it. But Ahmad Soekarno recognized that in order for money to have integrity, the Indonesian rupiah had to be redeemable in gold. If Ahmad Soekarno was successful, the Indonesian rupiah would not be in the disgraceful state where it is now. My daughters would not be slaves picking up your garbage. And Ahmad Soekarno took Indonesia out of the IMF.
I am the son of a people or a nation which has suffered from colonialism for 3 centuries and a half. It's not a short time, 350 years about.
Bretton Woods monetary system, which gave us the US dollar as the international currency, was backed by gold. That the US government undertook a responsibility under international law to redeem US dollars for gold at the rate of $35 for 1 ounce of gold. So there was some integrity in the US dollar. But only governments could redeem, only governments, not people. That's bogus.
I said in the United Nations several years ago that imperialism is not yet dead, it is only dying. But it's not yet dead.
Two governments in the world recognized that this was bogus. Two governments in the world stood up to defy them. One belonged to this region of the world, and the other was France, General Charles de Gaulle. He recognized that this was unfair, this was bogus, and he spoke in the French National Assembly against the monetary system. And that's why they took aim at him and they got him out of power. Who was the other government? Answer? Ahmad Soekarno. Yeah. You're too young to know it. But Ahmad Soekarno recognized that in order for money to have integrity, the Indonesian rupiah had to be redeemable in gold.
I hate imperialism. I detest colonialism. And I fear the consequences of their last bitter struggle for life. But we are determined that our nations and the world as a whole shall not be the plaything of one small corner of the world. We do not seek to defend the world we know. We seek to build a better world.
Indonesia has now buried this knowledge below the ground. You can't find it. They don't want people to know it. But Ahmad Soekarno wanted the Indonesian rupiah to be redeemable in gold. That you could take the rupiah to any bank and you can get gold for it.
I personally, God willing, I shall keep on fighting imperialism.
If Ahmad Soekarno was successful, the Indonesian rupiah would not be in the disgraceful state where it is now. And my daughters would not be slaves. My daughters would not be slaves picking up your garbage.
Keep on fighting imperialism. Because we have experienced it 350 years. What it means to be colonized.
My daughters, working for the salary of a slave in Lee Kuan Yew in the Singapore. But who talks about that? So Soekarno took Indonesia out of the UN. May Allah bless him for that. People who have one eye can't understand it. But people who have two eyes would say, may Allah bless him for that. And Ahmad Soekarno took Indonesia out of the IMF. Yes, he did. Hugo Chavez is one of my heroes. He's my next door neighbor. I'm from Trinidad, he's from Venezuela. Hugo Chavez tried to take Venezuela out of the IMF and could not succeed and died. But Soekarno took Indonesia out of the IMF.
And who is fighting against that imperialism? Not Soekarno only. Not Soekarno alone, not the Indonesian nation alone. But there are other forces in the world which are also fighting that imperialism.
And that's why the CIA had to put their stuntman Suharto and remove Soekarno so that the CIA will rule over Indonesia. Two governments. Until eventually Dr. Mahathir, when he was about to retire, also took aim at the monetary system. Where are the scholars of Islam to tell Bank Negara? Where are the scholars of Islam? You'll have to answer on Judgment Day. You will have to answer on Judgment Day. Unless the scholars of Islam stand up and say this paper money is bogus and fraudulent and haram, your so-called Islamic banking will prosper. Is there any Islamic bank in the world which is arguing that we should bring back gold and silver as money? Dinar and dirham? None. If an Islamic bank calls for dinar and dirham, they'll shut it down. They'll shut it down. That's not my only criticism of Islamic banking, so-called Islamic banking. There are other criticisms as well. But we don't have the time today to go into that subject. But I suggest that you read my book, The Gold Dinar and Silver Dirham, Islam and the Future of Money, which is outside. It's also translated to Bahasa. Any more questions?
I hate imperialism. I detest colonialism. And I fear the consequences of their last bitter struggle for life. But we are determined that our nations and the world as a whole shall not be the plaything of one small corner of the world. We do not seek to defend the world we know. We seek to build a better world.